I've lived with the fear of rape. It was constant here. You can barely send a girl out, let's say 5, 10 years ago, without that child feeling what happens to me before I get back home.
My biggest fear in life is having unwanted sex.
Before coming into this club, my greatest fear was rape because it is unwanted.
I ask my mother, what will I be? Will I be pretty? Will I be rich? Here's what she said. Que sera, sera. Whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see. Que sera, sera. What will be, will be.
A lot has been left to chances in the life of this 4-year-old. She is a victim of molestation. Since it takes long to attend to defilement cases, the 40-year-old perpetrator may not get the punishment he deserves. From time immemorial, the male gender have assumed a domineering role, making violence against women and girls a pervasive problem in Nigeria. Millions of women and girls are affected each year. With funding from Ford Foundation, ActionAid Nigeria is working to address these issues through the implementation of the SLOC program.
Strengthening the capacity of local women rights organizations to combat violence against women and girls is a program that is very, very dear to ActionAid Nigeria. The project is operating in Imo, Gombe, and the FCT, and working directly with communities to deal with issues of harmful traditional practices and other social norms that perpetrates gender-based violence.
And this project was funded by Ford Foundation and implemented by ActionAid. And ActionAid worked with 12 partners in 2 states and FCT, that's in Gombe and Imo State. And this project set out to address the root causes of violence against women and girls in Nigeria.
You know, some of these cultural practices that have existed for decades, some of them up to 100 years. We're just trying to implement a program or a project that is going to last for 3 years or less to change something that has been lasting for a whole lot of decades. That was the first challenge.
A couple of tools were used in the course of intervention. One was the enactment and strengthening of community-level committees to prevent, protect from, and respond to harmful socio-cultural norms that exacerbate violence against women and girls.
Okay, the community response team is more like a court, so to say. What we do at the community response team is to take note of young women and girls who have one challenge or the other that pertains especially to domestic violence, school dropout, wife battery and all.
CPC came about, this is the 3rd year since CPC came in through SOA initiative. When SOA came with their project, then after so many training, dialogues, then there came about CPC. Because after their trainings and dialogues, we feel it is very important to have an arm that will be taking care of this project.
Kowane anguwa akwai kwamitin da suke kula da kowane bangaren anguwa. Sukan awareness wa mutanen su, ima a part of early marriage, ima bangaren aure da wuri din, da kuma auren dole, da kuma yin aure ba bisa ka'ida ba. Duka wannan a masu anguwannin da suke wurin, yawan awareness da ake musu da suke fada mutanen anguwa. Ta nan ne muka samu muka san wasu suke sanin wane in an kai masa ƙorafi ka wannan abu yana ji kuma akan taking action.
In this CPC, we deal with different cases like rape case, abuses from men, boys, and so on.
Farkon zuwan su sun zo da bangaren media wanda suka yi drama suka nuna mana illan cin zarafin mata. Kuma gaskiya tun daga lokacin sai na ga wannan abu ne mai kyau wanda ya kamata a ce mu ma mun amfana da shi.
Born to discourage the culture of silence, OP encourages victims of violence to speak out.
That OP is an Igbo word, but it means flute, something you use to blow to draw people's attention. That's the meaning of that OP.
We build their capacity by training them to know their rights. We train them on the harmful practices. There's a capacity building. We work with other partners to bring their knowledge that women has rights. They are not meant to be in the society just ordinarily, but they have to stand for their rights. We also train them to know that culture of silence is very harmful, that they need to speak out.
Secondly, is concerning this OP committee, I really benefited a lot from it because there's one book that Mom used to come along to our women meeting. There's one very big book, yes. So I learned a lot from it. The teaching is something else because that is when I even learned that I have to help myself to be able to take care of myself and my kids. Because before I don't used to do anything, I would only depend on my siblings because they will save for me. But with that teaching, I know that I had to do something to help my house. Now they have known my worth. I have my rights. I can go out anytime I want, do my business, do my work, anything I want to do. But before, nothing like that. I don't dare go anywhere. They don't allow me to even stay with friends or with my co-wives. They don't even allow me. They would like to intimidate me that I will not do this one, I will not do this one. If I do this one, it's a problem. But now, everybody respected his or herself. They know that I know my rights and I know that this is my worth and they value me now more than anything.
Similar to OP is the newly introduced accessory, a whistle. Behind this symbolic hill of Kaltungo in Gombe State, women even in their pregnant state have been harassed or molested on their way to receive medical attention. This prompted the whistle-blowing trend, where women under attack call for help with a whistle.
Wasu daga nan sukan tashi daga bangaren nan su koma can su yi noma da damina sai su ɗeba abinci da rana su zo. Amma kalubalen da muke samu hanyar kauyen nan Fulani suna rafin mata na mata faɗi a hanya. Wanda ma akwai mace wanda ta zo aifuwa sun yi train wani a Caba. Ɗaya matan mai binta, ɗayan wanda lebo ne ya kama ta. Clinic din sun ce ba za su iya ba kawo General Hospital. Amma abun kunya da ya same mu, Fulani guda 4 sun zo sun tare su. Wanda suka tare su, mai a Caba ya kokori ya kama hanya ya gudu. Gudu yayi sosai. Kafin ɗayan da mai lebon aka barta, ɗayan aka kama ta karfi da yaji, aka kata kori aka mata faɗi. Inda da ne, da mu fita da yaki ne. Amma sun koya mana negotiation skill. Yadda za mu yi da su communication skill, yadda za mu yi magana. Mun je mun zauna mun sa an kira ardon Fulani. Mun zo mun sa gidan dakacin mu an yi magana sosai mun fahimci juna. A yanzu gaskiya da aka fara program din nan abin da zama da sauki ba mu kare ji ba tukuna.
Another tool is the peer education circle for women at the community level. Here, the women are taught on various issues ranging from hygiene to women's rights. The Girls Club is a safe space within the school where girls are brought together to unburden. They learn a range of topics on violation of their rights and its prevention.
Before now, my school is known and recorded as a place that attracts the attention of policemen and vigilantes. But since the inception of this great club, all those things have been addressed and are now a past stories.
For instance, something like bullying, rape, fighting, to mention very few. It was so much happening which always attract policemen, vigilantes in my school. It's not that the principals or the teachers were not trying to calm it down, to bring it to a stop, but it was above them. Not so did we know that only teachings, little teachings that they don't know is what will bring the thing to good, to normality.
As a hawker, Esther saw a play-led by the girls' club. This began her journey back to school.
When I carry my people and I'm going around, I come area of the school, then I see they are doing drama outside about girls not going to school. Then I wait, I see the drama. Then I go back and tell my father that if I want to go back to school because what I see is very good to go back to school.
We have Esther now because she saw the program. She was a hawker before, but now she decided to come back to school. And not her alone. We have some other ones that are even peeping and going. We want to come back, you know, but they didn't get the permission straight from home. But from their heart, they want to come back. So we are doing follow up. We want to make sure that they have the opportunity to come back to school.
Lawanti is known, among other things, for its practice of barema, a tradition synonymous to child labor.
In an ce barema, ana nufin tura yara su je su nemo ma kuɗi ko ko su kawo ma ko su kawo kansu saboda bukatan kansu ko bukatan iyayensu. Shi ake nufi da barema, amma aikin kuɗi shine barema. Ta yi aikin shuka ne, ta yi noma ne, wani abu dai da za su fita su je su nemo kuɗi shi ake ce ma barema a nan. Sannan barema akwai hanyoyin da suke bi su yi barema wanda a nan aka fi yin shi. Idan damuna ya zo ruwa ya sauka, sukan tura yaran su barema. Idan a yi daga sharan gona ma, za ka ji ana cewa yara su tafi sharan gona na kuɗi. Sai a biya su, sai su je su yi aikin, sai su kama iyayen. Iyayen sai su zo su siya musu abinci ko kuma su siya musu wani abu na rayuwa.
Ta akwai illanta saboda daɗin kawai yaran tafiya suke kawai kara zube jeji. Su kaɗai za su tafi kuma ba a san wani irin mazaje suke haɗuwa da su a jeji ba. Kaga dai nan ma akwai illa ne. Kuma akwai yaran da yawa yaran mazaje suna ma samarin ƙauyuka duka can suna haɗuwa. Ko wasan banzan nan wasan hannu da suke wasan koko ai shi ma babu ne mai kyau ba. To irinsa makamancinsa tunda kuma baka je gani ba ai dole zuciyanka ba zai kuma yadda maka ba. To amma yanzu an riga an gyara shi tunda an san da wanda suke tafiya an gyara abu.
Having been subjected through the culture of barema, a bitter experience ended barema for Hawa.
Za ka je ka kawo kuɗi ne kalilan ɗin kuɗi wanda kwata-kwata kuɗin nan ko da an ce ka ware wani damuwan kanka ma ba zai ware maka ba. Ka ɗauko kawo iyayenka. To gaskiya na je ni barema akwai lokacin da na je barema bari in bada misali a karan kaina. Mun je mutu mun yi shukan sai suka ɗauki kuɗin suka bamu. Akwai wata wanda kuɗin ta ya faɗi a cikin motan. Aka rasa waye ne ya ɗauki kuɗin nan. Wa ya ɗauki kuɗi aka kama wai dai a yi caji. Kuma cajin da zai yi nan namiji ne fa zai caji mace. Namiji ne zai ce miki ki cire zanin ki ya duba ki wai kin ɗauki kuɗi ne ko baki ɗauka ba. Wannan illan barema kenan na gan shi ido da ido ne ya faru a kaina.
Before we started, they were not even to identify even A, B, C, you know, all this kind of word. They don't, if you see, if they only know it in Hausa, they don't know it in English. And they feel that's where, you know, they can, yes, they don't go to school, you know, they don't even, their children doesn't go to school. They only know this street hawking, this tale. Barema, when they wake up in the morning, their children will just go to the farm. You know, some of them will spend like 1 week, 2 weeks in the farm. They will give them tippens and bring them home. And that's how people use them. And they even get pregnant in the course of all these things, you know. So on implementing this project of SLOC-VAWG project, they came to realize that there is more to life than taking their children to hawking, this barema stuff and like that.
The thought and perception is that these harmful norms are traditionally acceptable, hence their conformity to avoid bad tags.
So this intervention was taken to the very vulnerable groups who do not even have basic education or who have accepted over the years the socialization that comes with a woman is a subhuman being. A woman has no right at all. So that's why we went down to the right to life, the right to education, the right to belong, to participate, the freedom of association, the freedom of making choices that relate to your sexual and reproductive rights.
It wasn't quite easy because what they're introducing is something alien or not quite understood by people. You know, after attending to or throughout, personally speaking, I became very uncomfortable. You know, the way I treat my own family too, my wife and my children. I don't know they have so much rights. I don't know which one I will do now. It will be against their right, or the one I will do it will be so much enlightenment has come from them, and we must stand there for that. And if you go back after their meetings, you find that what they're saying somehow is right. We've done so much. We've done a lot with them on widow practices.
And fortunately for us, while we were doing this work, the Violence Against Women and Girls bill was passed by the governor. December 2021, it was passed. So it became a legal instrument that we were using to go about our advocacies and our trainings and our programs. So because of that, we started harvesting outcomes.
Before, if somebody dies, you stay in the house so long as the person has not been buried. But now, it is not so. I have the right to travel to Owerri if I have maybe relations there. I had to beg for fun. If I have the right to go to Lagos, but before it's only the men that do that. The men will travel from here. Their wives are in the mortuary. They will just leave Uguta to any of the places they want to. Before it was just the woman must. So now, whatever the men do, the woman will also do.
There is a parable that says, before you pinch somebody, pinch yourself first. See how it feels. So when they bring this credo of human rights, this, that, and they called the communities together when they went away and explained to them, asked them the reason for what they are doing. 99% of them, like I said to you, is just sheer ignorance. They don't want to do it because you don't want it to be subjected to your family. So why should you subject it to another person's family?
That's the problem we're facing that time, because some of them, when those things happened, some will rush back to their place where they came from. Some, like, if maybe I'm from this Ubomiri, for example, if something like that happened, my people, maybe when they had it, they will come and say, you want to kill our daughter for us? No, we're taking her back home. That was exactly what was happening that time, you know. So, but since this thing came on board, no more women packing their loads back to their father's house. When the issue came, we will solve it there and then, and everybody will have peace, and have peace forever. Not peace forever, and it won't repeat itself again.
We signed that we won't close our eyes to any harmful action against any woman, whether married, whether widow, whether spinster, whether child, and we know that naturally they are endangered species and we need to protect them. So that's exactly what we...
In Pigbasama, breast ironing was gradually becoming a culture. The younger generation of girls will always be grateful to Gift Ilya, who brought this to the knowledge of SLOC partners.
I was at 10 and I felt so sad that they were doing it for me. So I was like, a small calabash. In the night, when my mom used to do it for me, she would put it near the fire so that it's too hot. She would use it and press my breast. I think speaking out has helped a lot, even my sisters, because when they wanted to be harassed, they spoke out and the truth came out and they were safe.
A tunanin na yi mata da na gan ta yi karama. A tunanin na lokacin ban gane ba, na gan fitar da nono din da wuri shi zai sa ta je ta doka ciki a waje. Shi yasa na zo na yi mata breast iron din. So daga baya na zo na gane ba daga fito da nono ne zai sa yarinya ta doka a ciki da wuri ba. Ko ni ma kara kaina lokacin da na budurwa, lokacin bai yi aure ba, ni ma na yi ma kaina. So na ba ma sani abun ya zama asiri ne ba. Yanzu na zo na gane breast iron din zai iya kawo ciwo. Zai iya sa wani ciwo zai shiga ma yarinya a jini.
I feel good because if they say they don't tell me now, I will come do it to my own daughter. At the end now, maybe in future now, my pikin will come dey sick for breast cancer. You know, more person will get pikin, no go dey happy saying pikin they sick for cancer. So I feel good and I'm happy that I come to know, say breast iron is no good.
Those set out to combat harmful traditions and norms that violate women's rights, the stories of impact also cut across education, economic and financial literacy, among others. In Gombe, women have learned to start loans and savings group to enable members start a business of choice. Aisha runs a number of businesses, one of which is grinding. She testified that the saving and loans group has been beneficial to the sustenance of her businesses and in attending to her family needs.
Haɗin kai da muka yi shine gaskiya mun yi wani abu shi ƙwarya-ƙwarya kaman adashi hakan nan wanda muke zubawa duk ƙarshen wata mukan zauna mu yi mitin, mukan zuba adashin nan kaman na 1-1K. In muka tara adashin nan mukan tara kaman 20,000 sai mu raba wa the all people sai mu bai wa mutane biyu wanda kuma adashin nan mun ce zaka je ne ka dan yi jari ka dogara da kanka kar ka dogara da wani.
We give 60% women and girls, 30% youths and 10% people with disability. So we engage people with disability in our activities like training them on GBB and skill acquisition, where they will also know what GBB is all about because they are vulnerable. They are vulnerable and people used to take advantage of their vulnerability.
After losing her sight 3 years ago, Aisha also lost friends. She is, however, the new pride of friends and relations since she started her petroleum jelly production, a skill she learned from the SLOC training.
Saboda yan sun ga ina sana'a kuma yanzu aka sun ga yawancin ana magana na ana shan mamaki inda ka dan zuwa mutane biyu ku za su ce kun ga abun mamakin da Aisha take yanzu gashi na ha shago yawancin gidaje za ku ga man shagowa wanda to su ma irin su suna alfahari da kawarsu na da ita ne take wannan yunkurin sanuwan hakan nan.
In the missionary school, discipline is of importance, but the GEM girls advocated to stop the beating of girls on sensitive areas of their body after advocating for equal opportunity for girls in the student leadership.
Each time they want to give posts to the seniors, it will be many boys, especially huge boys, muscular. They will always be threatening. Once you see them, you go and hide. That's one of the factors they consider before giving someone a post. It was only few girls, maybe sanitary prefect and academic prefect.
Because they have been built, their capacities have been built, their agencies have been built, to stand against all kind of harmful socio-cultural norms, all kind of practices, all kind of things that that shrinks the safe spaces of women and girls in their school. So they begin to speak out, and because of that, the school management thought it wise that it's good to give some of the positions to girls more than the boys. So in the school today, we have more girls who are in leadership than the boys.
While women and girls now live with less fear in their communities in Imo and Abuja, the advocacy in most communities in Gombe has created space for women to be part of the traditional councils. This implies that women now have representatives involved in decision making. Left to chances, bullied by culture, oppressed by tradition, pressured by other societal forces. This is the story of women survivors.
I don't know how to thank this project. It's only God that brought this project for us. Mainly those in the village, more those women, mostly the both illiterate ones that don't know their right hand, but now they are bold enough to talk to you.
I just want to say thank you very much. I don't really know how to. I don't know how to say it, but I just want to say thank you very much.
The Action 8, the Moda N, gaskiya ina musu godiya kuma ina alfahari da su don duk abin da na taka su ne suka yi min sanadiyan wannan. Kuma ba zan taɓa manta da su ba, na gode sosai, na gode Moda N, na gode Action 8, na gode sosai ma.